Welcome back. In the last video, we discussed about exploratory research and descriptive research. In this video, we are going to discuss the remaining two types of research, which are explanatory or causal research, and the last one, which is evaluative research. So let's start our discussion on exploratory or causal research. Now, before I move on to the formal definition, just keep in mind the word explanatory or causal. Explanatory means I want to explain something, and causal means I want to explain the cause of something happening. So the main purpose of this type of research is to explain the cause of something happening. Don't worry, I'm giving you the example right now. So let's move on to the example again. Now, when diving under the sea, you found out that octopus is changing color very frequently. All right? So they keep changing colors. So after you see this, you are a little bit curious. Why does octopus change color so frequently? You want to know exactly why. What is the reason behind changing color like this? Is it because out of fear, or is it because to have protection, saving themselves from you or somebody else? Or is it something out of some other reason? So you want to know, why does octopus change color? You want to find out the cause. So for this question, you have to do an explanatory research or a causal research. Let's move on to another example. Say again, while under the sea, you found out there are a lot of plastic waste lying around. So this is something you observed, but you are not happy with that. You want to find out why so much plastic waste is there under the sea. So you want to find out the cause and answer why so much plastic waste is under the sea lying around. You want to find out the cause. In order to find out the answer to this question, you have to run a causal research or an explanatory research again. So now let's move on to the formal definition. Here it goes. This research tries to find out why something happens. What are the causes of something happening? So I want to establish a cause and effect relationship between two variables to understand how one changes when we vary the other variable as well. So again, the main purpose is to find out the cause of something happening. Let's move on to the examples. Number 1. Why does octopus change color? I just explained this one. Next one. Why there are so many plastic wastes under the sea? Again, I have just explained that. Now let's move on to some practical examples. Number 3. Why does apple fall from the tree? So what was the cause that made this apple fall? After doing research on this, somebody found out that yes, gravity is the cause here. So in order to find out this answer, somebody did a causal research or an explanatory research. Then another example might be, why has the subscription to Netflix gone up during lockdown? So you want to find out the cause of increased subscription. Maybe after doing research, you find out that yes, people had a lot of free time sitting at home. Or maybe people were bored, so they wanted to pass more time watching TV series or movies on Netflix. Now the last example. Why do students cry on the last day of university class? So maybe you found out that many of your seniors are crying on the very last day of their university life. So you want to do a research on that and find out, why are people crying? Why are some of the seniors crying? Why are they sad on the very last day of their university class? That might be another example of a causal research or an explanatory one. All right, we are done with explanatory research. Now let's move on to the last type of research, which is evaluative research. Now again, before I move on to the formal definition, let's take a look at the wording here. Evaluative. So here we are trying to evaluate something. So the purpose of this research is to evaluate something. Let's again go back to the sea example. Remember, you saw a lot of plastic waste lying under the sea? So after coming up, you decided that yes, you want to run a plastic waste cleaning campaign. Alright? So you gather your friends around and start cleaning the beach for the next 7 days. And at the same time, you run a campaign so that everyone else can join in this drive. Now, after you run the campaign for consecutive 7 days, you want to find out whether your campaign was successful. You want to do a research to find out whether your campaign could reduce plastic waste pollution on the sea beach. You want to find out whether people are still cleaning the beach or throwing less plastic into the sea. So, what are you trying to do here exactly? You are trying to evaluate whether your campaign was successful in reducing plastic waste. So, that is basically an example of an evaluative research. So, if I go into the formal definition now, here it goes. The purpose of evaluative research is to find out how well something works. Now, the main purpose is to evaluate the result of something. It may be a marketing campaign. So maybe you ran a marketing campaign and now you want to find out whether this marketing campaign was successful in increasing the sales of your product. So if we want to move on to the examples here. Number one, was the plastic waste cleaning campaign successful? I just explained this one. Next example, was vaccine ABC successful in treating COVID-19? So maybe a vaccine came out, and after using the vaccine on some people, now you want to find out or evaluate whether it was successful in treating COVID-19. That is an example of an evaluative research. Now, let's go further into some business examples. How effective was the advertisement Cholo Shobai by Nescafe or Tumi Ki Shara Debe by Dijus? I'm getting nostalgic. I guess many of you are. These two were so wonderful. Trust me, after I'm done recording this lecture, I'm going to play this one. So yeah, how effective was the advertisement Cholo Shobai by Nescafe or Tumi Ki Shara Debe by Dijus? So right after designing these two ads and playing those ads, employees working for Nestle or for Grameenphone tried to find out whether these two campaigns were really successful in increasing the sales of their products or service. So that is also another example of evaluative research. All right, the final example. Has the newly designed continuous training been able to improve employee performance? So maybe an organization ran a training program on their employees, and now, after finishing the training, they want to find out whether this training was able to improve employee performance. So that is another example of evaluative research. So yes, that's it. We are done with 4 types of research based on research question. In the upcoming video, we are going to discuss types of research based on data collection. Now, just to tell you here, we have 3 types of research based on data collection method. Qualitative research, quantitative research, and mixed method research. Now, I'm going to upload 2 separate videos on this, but it's not going to be my lecture. I'm going to give you 2 links of 2 different YouTube videos here. So they are pretty good. In one of the videos, they explain the difference between qualitative and quantitative research. And in the other one, they explain the difference between all of these 3 types of research. So I would request you to go and see these 2 videos and try to understand the difference between qualitative, quantitative, and mixed method research. So we are done here. I'll see you very soon after you are done watching the 2 YouTube videos.